I have hired quite a few employees. We call our team members money nerds here at the Minority Mindset, but there are some things that if you're looking for a job right now that you need to stop doing, that way you can actually get the job that you want. The way the hiring process works at Minority Mindset is when you apply for a job, you got to take a couple quizzes and you got to answer a couple questions. If you pass that, then you're going to go through an email screening. If you pass that, you're going to go through a first round interview where we kind of see how you would fit in with our company culture. And the second round interview is more of a technical interview where we're going to see how good you are at what you do. And then if you pass that, then you're going to come to a third round interview where then you'll be interviewing with me, where I kind of see, are you going to fit with our company and are you dedicated to working hard? We get a ton of applications every single week, but less than 1% of these job applicants are going to make it to our third round interview, and only some of them are going to actually get the job. So if you want to know from my experience what you need to stop doing and what you need to start doing, that way you can actually get the job you want, make sure you watch this video until the end. But before we get into that, I need you to do me a quick favor and smash that thumbs up button below. And a quick word from our sponsor, Policygenius. If you are interested in getting life insurance, Policygenius is an easy way to go because they will give you a free life insurance quote, and they stand by what they do, because if you can find a cheaper life insurance quote anywhere else, they will pay you $100 for wasting your time. So if you want to learn more and get a free life insurance quote, I got the link to how you can do that with Policygenius in the description below. The first thing you got to do when you apply for a job is apply thoughtfully. Look, I know job posting sites like Indeed and ZipRecruiter and Glassdoor and LinkedIn make it easy for you to apply to jobs because you can kind of use those fast application tools where you just hit apply, 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 apply. But if you're just applying like that, you are going to be rejected by a ton of companies, especially the ones that you want to work for, because they want people to apply thoughtfully. They want to see how much thought you put into this application, because we can see it on the employer side. If you apply for one of our Minority Mindset jobs and all you do is you hit the apply button and you send your resume and that's it, you are automatically going to be rejected. Here's a tip that I think a lot of people don't realize. If you apply for Minority Mindset, the first thing that I look at is not what your resume looks like. It's not what degree you got. It's not if you got a degree. It's not what your GPA is. It's what can you do to help us and how passionate are you? When we post a job, we have questions that we want applicants to fill out. We don't really care too much about what your answers are. I mean, we do care, but the main thing that we're looking at is, are you going to answer the questions, and how thoughtfully are you going to answer the questions? Because if it looks like you don't care to answer the questions because you're too busy for us, or you don't got time for us, or you're not really putting much thought or much passion into what you're doing, then we don't want you to come work for us, because we only want people that want to work for us to work for us. We're a small company, and one bad team member, one bad money nerd in our team can destroy the entire company. So we're not going to let somebody come work for us if we don't feel that passion from you. So the first thing we're looking for is just your passion. How thoughtfully are you applying for a job? So first, that means when you're applying, make sure you're doing the full application process. If there are questions, if there are quizzes, do them to your best ability, and then submit a cover letter. But do not submit a generic cover letter, because these are the most annoying things ever. If you want to work for us as a writer and you say that you're passionate about personal finance and you say that you're passionate about writing, but all of your previous experience show that you have no writing experience, maybe you do, but in your resume it doesn't say that, and your cover letter doesn't explain how you are passionate about writing and why you'd be passionate about writing for us. All it says is, dear sir or ma'am, or dear hiring manager, thank you so much for looking at my resume. I've had this so-and-so experience, which is in your resume, so you're not telling me anything new, and that you'd really appreciate us taking the time for looking at your resume. If you're just copying and pasting this cover letter and you're just sending it to every place you apply to, and you're not changing this cover letter based off of what the position is, you're not giving any more value to the employer. This cover letter is the place where you can show the employer why you are a good fit for this particular role. So if you're applying for a writing position, you got to change up some of this cover letter. You need to write in the first paragraph why you'd be a good applicant for this writing position, why you love writing, why you'd love writing for Minority Mindset or whatever company you're applying to, and why this is right for you. So you have to really relate this position in your cover letter to you. So this is your place to show, especially if you don't have enough experience, especially if you didn't get a degree in this, especially if you don't have a degree. This cover letter is your place where you can sell yourself. So do not post a generic cover letter that you're just copying and pasting. Your cover letter needs to be the place where you are selling yourself and you are going to show the employer why you are the best person for this position. I mean, this is the place where if somebody doesn't have any experience in writing and they want to get a writing job, because this is where I'm going to look for why. Because if you can sell me on your cover letter, which is a lot easier to do than with your resume, because your cover letter is going to show me how passionate you are. Because if you can sell me with your cover letter, I don't even care what your previous experience is. I don't care what you have on your resume. I want to see how passionate you are, because anybody can learn how to do anything for the most part. Most people can learn how to do the job on the job, but you cannot train somebody about passion. So if you're passionate and we get that passion and you're decent at what you do, we can train you to be better. The one thing that we cannot train you to do is to be passionate about this position. The last thing that I need you to do on the cover letter is answer any questions that you think the employer is going to have in the cover letter, that way the employer doesn't have to waste his or her time trying to figure out the answer to these questions. For example, if a job is located in New York and you are living in Chicago and the job requires you to work in the office, let them know that you'd be willing to relocate. If you do not have a college degree, or if you didn't get a degree in this particular job field, talk about that in the cover letter. Say, yes, I know I don't have a degree in this, or I don't have a degree. However, I have a lot of experience, or have a lot of passion for this, or I've taken an online class on this, or I've gotten a certificate on this. Sell yourself here. Answer these questions. That way the employer doesn't have to ask this to you, because a lot of times the employer is not going to waste their time. If they don't know when you apply what the answer to this question is, they're not going to waste their time to ask, because they have dozens of other applications they can go through. So don't try to just let the employer figure it out. Tell the employer upfront by just putting it in your cover letter. The second thing that you need to do when you apply is research the company. Most companies do some sort of screening interview where they're just trying to figure out, are you going to be a good fit in the culture? Do you understand the company? Do you understand the position? Is it worth our time to pursue this interview process with you? The way we do that on our end is we do a culture interview after our email screening. But one of the things that we're really studying here is your passion for this position. And one of the ways that we look at that is we just want to understand, do you have any idea what our company is? If you're in an interview with us and we ask you, do you know what the minority mindset is? And you say, yeah, you guys have news and you give news to minority people in the United States, it is an automatic rejection, because we know that you couldn't spend 5 minutes going to our website, reading our about us, or just kind of going through our brand to understand what we do. Every company wants their team members and their employees to be passionate about the company, and there's no way you can be passionate about a company if you don't know what the company does. This is such a simple thing to do, but it can make a huge difference in the interview process, because if you understand the company, if you take 15 minutes and now you go through the company, you understand what they do, you understand the industry, you look at who their competitors are, you can have a really insightful conversation with the person that you're interviewing with, and you can say, hey, I saw that your competitor's doing this. Do you think that you're going to enter this vertical as well? Or what are you going to do about this? If you start asking these questions, the person that's interviewing you is going to say, holy guacamole, this person is definitely passionate about our industry, because they're giving us good ideas on how to grow as a company. The more research you do on a company, the better chance you have to get the job. Now, it doesn't guarantee your job, but you are going to raise your chances exponentially, because if somebody comes on to an interview with us and they say, yeah, I love the minority mindset, I watched a handful of your videos, I've even subscribed to your newsletter, all of a sudden, you have pretty much guaranteed a second round interview, because we see that you're passionate about what we do. Even if you're not, you have sold us that you have done your research and that you're willing to put in that work. If you're thinking, wow, that's a lot of work to get a job, then our company is not for you. We don't cater to everybody. It is very hard to get a job working for us. And so if you want to work for a company like Minority Mindset, you're going to have to be willing to put in that work. If you're not, then you got to go work for somebody else. And so then you kind of got to understand the different types of companies that there are out there, because some companies it's a lot easier to work at, but you might not get the same lifestyle. You might not get the same perks and the same kind of work environment that you would with a startup type of company. The third thing that you can do to boost your chances of getting a job is just send a message to the company. So this is kind of a secret. I don't know if I should disclose on YouTube, but we've had very few people do this in the past, and every single one of the people that have done this have come to at least a final round interview. If you're applying for a job with us, the first thing you do obviously is you apply, you send your resume, you answer the questions, you submit your cover letter. But the next thing that you can do to really boost your chances is figure out who is involved in the company and send them a message. Go out to them on LinkedIn or find their email and just shoot them a message saying, hi, so-and-so, I just wanted to let you know that I applied for this position. I really, really love your company. I really love what you stand by, and I would love to have the opportunity to be interviewed by you, because I'm super passionate about this role, and I would love to have the opportunity to work for you. If you're sending this message in a genuine way, where you're just trying to show how passionate you are and how badly you want to work for this position, you are going to be much more likely to get invited for an interview, because it shows that you're a go-getter. People want to see hustlers. People want to have people who are going to put in the work, go the extra mile, and do whatever it takes. And if you can demonstrate that in the application process, then you have a much better chance of getting the job. Because what a lot of people miss is the application process isn't just the resume. It's the entire thing. It's how do you conduct yourself through the application process. Because if you are just submitting one-word answers to questions that people get you, if you don't care about your spelling, if you don't care about the way you present yourself through the application process, people are going to notice that. The more that you can show you care, the better chance you have. If you enjoyed this short clip from my longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, if you're interested in learning more about how to start generating passive income, our team put together an amazing guide on how to start generating passive income for free. All you got to do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.